Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So more good news today. There's a new report that says Bitcoin and crypto users doubled within only 6 months. Now we have more than 200 million users that are now holding some sort of crypto, and it's only the beginning. So let's discuss this new metric and also what this means when it comes to global adoption that may be coming right around the corner. So thanks for tuning in. As always, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. 2 streams every day, 11:30 and 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you hit that notification bell so you get notified, and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and check out all the latest articles on CryptosRUs.com. All right, guys, welcome back. Like I said, yes, I said that already, but let's do this. Let me change my screen. So as you can see with Bitcoin is still trying to break that 41,000. It's tried many times, but it is holding, and it is holding very, very strong. I've been showing you guys a lot of metrics recently about holders, about whales, about accumulation. It's all adding up, and FOMO. More importantly, FOMO. People realized, well, you know, this doomsday scenario of dropping to 20K and 10K is out the window. So now people are FOMOing back. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people bought in at a higher price than when they panic sold. But nevertheless, this is where we are. We are pressing right against this. My sources tell me that tomorrow we may see that uptick. You know why? That's because tomorrow is Friday, and tomorrow is when futures and options expiration both expire. Actually, options is in like very early for us in the US, and futures is around like 11, shortly before I start to stream. So my sources tell me that tomorrow we may see that final push. That right now what we're seeing, even though we have climbed higher, but we're stuck under this 41,000. We can see a break starting tomorrow and heading into the weekend. We have seen some tremendous moves during the weekends recently, so that's been pretty darn positive. So I'm looking forward to that, and you know, my sources are usually correct. 60% of the time, they're correct every time, so think about that. All right, now, what else is there besides this? Well, according to this new research document from Crypto.com, actually I was wrong, more than 220 million users by the end of June. So July could have even gone up more. According to this summary right here from Crypto.com, global users reached 221 million in June of 2021. Here's a staggering thing. It took only 4 months to double the global crypto population from 100 million to 200 million. It doubled within 4 months of this year. And here's more, and why that's amazing is because in comparison, it took 9 months to reach 100 million from 65 million. So you could actually see that it's growing. The number of users, number of people coming into crypto is growing by leaps and bounds. However, if you look at 221 million in total, still very, very, very small population compared to 8+ billion people out there. And I don't know how accurate this is, because 221 million people, to be honest, sounds very, very, very high. I don't know if this is just measuring addresses and active addresses, because if so, that number is actually a lot lower. Because if you think about it, every one of us that's in crypto has, 3, 4, 5, 10 addresses? So, I mean, quite honestly, even though this is staggering in terms of the growth, I honestly think this 221 million is probably off by like 10x. I think it's more like 21 million users out there that actually hold crypto. There's very little people that you talk to that actually holds it, right? So, whatever the case is, it is growing by leaps and bounds, and ultimately, it's still a small, very small percentage of the global population. This is why you want to get in early. Even though right now Bitcoin is at 40,000, it's still considered early, right? Look at all the technology advancements that we had over the last 10, 20, 30 years, okay? It took time before they really took off. And Bitcoin has only been around for about 12 years. And yes, we have seen some tremendous movement of price and adoption and awareness, but this is still just the beginning, especially if you look at how many people on earth that still has no clue about blockchain or crypto or Bitcoin. So you don't want to be one of the last ones to get in. You want to be one of the first ones to get in. And hopefully most of you guys watching are probably in already, but still. I think this is a staggering stat. So I wanted to lead with that. What else is there? There's a lot of stuff going on. For example, you look at the short squeeze. It's still ongoing. It's been ongoing for what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 days. 8 days where the shorts are getting wrecked. And this is just a BTC liquidation. This doesn't even look at, Ethereum and others. If you look at grand total, it's much higher. But this shows you that the shorts are not feeling it. Not this week, at least. And this is what I want to see, that the shorts are being liquidated rather than the longs. So things are still looking pretty darn good. And it's surprising, even after this big one, the shorts are like, it's going to go down. I'm going to place more shorts and they get more liquidated. So moral of the story is don't play with leverage. And if you are going to play leverage, don't play the short side. At least not right now or ever, in my opinion. It's just not worth it. It's really not worth it. All right, what else is there? Some other good news. According to this, open interest mimics Q4 2020 as new report, cautiously optimistic on BTC rally. But what is this looking at? This is looking at futures. All right, futures open interest. So I went on Bybit, decided to look at the same thing. This is what they're looking at. If you look at the open futures interest across all the exchanges and even CME, you can see the point that we are at right now is about the same around February. Okay, so right before the huge tremendous rally. So it does show you how strong Bitcoin is, despite the fact coming down halfway. You could see that open future interest did not just collapse to nothing. It's still high and it's climbing back up. And what does this mean? Institutions are still very much interested in Bitcoin and they don't want to lose out. That's futures. And then you can also look at options. And options pretty much say the same thing. A little bit lower, but you can see the options interest right here is a little bit lower. It go back. It's about January, the start of the new year. So think about that. Again, I made this analogy before. If you're new to the game and you're getting in right now, it's like you've traveled back in time to January, because a lot of these altcoins are at the same level they were at the beginning of the year. So all the tremendous gains that people have seen, right? You could get in right now, right? It's about the same level. Actually, it's probably a little bit higher, but still, you get the point. There are still tremendous bargains to be had at this point, including Bitcoin at $40,000. We were just at 64,000 not too long ago. That could be right around the corner. And after 64,000, 100,000 is right around the corner. So this is also pretty positive. Now, what else is there? That is, Tim is stressing 110x leverage. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Someone is saying LTC is underrated. I would say it's overrated. So I disagree with you. All right, what else is there? Robinhood. A lot of you guys are familiar with Robinhood. They have gone IPO and they opened up at $38 a share. Wow. Pretty big, although it is saying that it is dropping right now. So I don't know who priced it. This is a problem with IPOs. A lot of these bankers, they price it at a certain price and they're optimistic. And then when things open up, it actually can come down, right? So it sucks for people that's buying in. But it's great for the insiders, because I saw on Twitter that there's a lot of celebrities that got in Robinhood when it was at like 28 cents through like angel rounds and stuff like that. usually those angel rounds, most of us are not eligible to participate. You have to be a credit investor, first of all, and also you have to be you have to be very wealthy or invited and so forth. So, this is another reason why getting into crypto makes a whole lot of sense for retail investors, because you could get in a brand new project at very, very, very cheap levels, and then you can watch it grow thousands of percents or tens of thousands of percents or hundred thousands of percents, and then you become a millionaire, a multimillionaire, or even a billionaire by simply holding, right? So, yeah. But anyways, how this relates to crypto is obviously the bigger Robinhood gets, the more people they could draw in, especially with meme coins like Doge. I'm surprised Robinhood has not opened up Shiba trading yet, which is probably around the corner, because obviously Robinhood, they have stated before, I think a third of their crypto profits or total profits, I forget which, is from Dogecoin buyers, right? So that's actually a huge part of their profits. However, the good thing is once they pull people into Dogecoin, a lot of them stay, become holders, and a lot of them start looking at other crypto that they could buy. Although the selection on Robinhood is quite limited at this point, but it still pulls people in. It still pulls people in. And they have said they're working on opening withdrawals so that, hey, at least once people get in, they can decide to move to a better exchange or a DEX or something afterwards, right? So that is also around the corner too. So we'll see where Robinhood goes. Right now, anything that's related to crypto has not been doing well in terms of their stock. Coinbase has not been doing well. MicroStrategy has not been doing well. Riot and Mara, Voyager, anything else that's involved has not been doing that well. We'll see if Robinhood could break that trend or not. Even Tesla has not been doing well. All right, what else is there? PayPal. PayPal to expand Bitcoin buying to the UK. Those of you guys that are in the UK, you'll be able to buy through PayPal. And PayPal is also working on their super app, which I covered last night, and they're working on withdrawals too. PayPal with over 400 million users around the world, and they're going to open up their app to Bitcoin trading or Bitcoin buying and crypto trading, and soon they're going to allow those users to withdraw too. So this is very positive in terms of global adoption, in terms of getting users, right? This definitely helps. This is the reason why we have doubled, according to Crypto.com, we have doubled the number of users within 4 months, because now it's very easy for people to get in. Robinhood, PayPal, Cash App, Webull, which is one of my sponsors, and all the other exchanges out there, that makes it very easy for people to get in. And that's the main thing, right? We want global adoption. We want more awareness. We want people to get in easily, because even back in 2017 and before, it was hard. I mean, your only option was really to go to Coinbase and Gemini. Even that was very difficult for a lot of people. They don't want to go through the hassle and process. Almost everyone has a PayPal account already. And also, people that are stock traders, a lot of them are using Robinhood. So it just makes it really, really easy to come in. All right. What else is there? Well, I thought this would be a good time to talk about one of my sponsors, Caleb and Brown, which I have not talked about for quite some time. But if you're in the market and you're looking to buy crypto, Caleb and Brown is a full-fledged brokerage. And what does that mean? Well, that means they're actually people behind the phones that's actually waiting for your call. So if you're the type that needs a little bit of hand-holding, you want to talk to someone, you want to get some advice, and also you want to buy crypto that may not be available in your area or difficult ones to get, Caleb and Brown can help you. They could also help you buy and liquidate through OTC market for those of you guys that are true whales, and they could help with self-directed IRAs, trusts, LLCs, whole bunch of other stuff that you're just not going to see on any other exchange or financial app. So that's Caleb and Brown. If you guys are interested, check them out. URL is in the description of this video. All right, now what else is there? Moving on, Alon. Alon hinted that Tesla owns about 42,000 Bitcoins. So Tesla has been very secretive, not open like MicroStrategy and other companies where they disclose exactly how much they bought and when they bought it and the total value, right? So people are speculating based on their announcement and so forth. So most people, including Buy Bitcoin Worldwide, I don't know who owns them, but most people guess they were around 42, 43,000. They were pretty close. But based on their recent filing, how much they lost, and Alon also tweeted back, now the new estimate is more about 42,000 Bitcoins. And they purchased it roughly around 30 something thousand, like 33, 34,000. So I don't know. I don't know why they're so secretive. Obviously, Alon also mentioned SpaceX also owns Bitcoins. We don't know how many. Could be just as much. And he also owns Bitcoins. We don't know how many, right? So there's a lot. There's a lot there. And I'm bringing this up because I've always said there are companies that's very open, that they will disclose what they have. But there's also, on the flip side, a lot of companies that do not want to disclose. And these could be the BlackRocks of the world and the banks of the world and anyone that feels really threatened by Bitcoin, but they have no choice but to buy, right? So not everyone is going to disclose. But the ones that did already, they have a substantial amount of Bitcoin already. So again, this goes to my point of Bitcoin being scarce, adoption is growing, and you don't want to get in. You don't want to be one of the last ones to be getting in. You want to be one of the first ones to get in because this list will only grow from here on out, according to my sources, and they're never wrong. All right, and lastly, those of you guys that are utilizing your IRA or 401k to buy crypto to avoid capital gains tax, well, guess what? I Trust Capital also have added Engine, which is a project I've talked about a lot, an NFT play, but they're really much more encompassing than that. So you can now buy Engine on I Trust Capital, among many other DeFi projects and Bitcoin and Ethereum and so forth. And you can even buy gold if you wanted to. So very, very nice. Very nice indeed. All right, outside of that, looking at live coin watch, overall market cap still hovering about the same. Bitcoin dominance down slightly, not really. 47%, not 40. It was a 48%, but still not as low as 45%. We have seen that before, and that's because Bitcoin came up quite a lot recently. So we'll see what happens. If Bitcoin could break through 41,000, I do think it's go pump. I think 41,000 I've talked about. It's probably going to be a hard resistance to break, but tomorrow we could see that happen after futures and options expiration. I think there could be a ceiling that's lifted, and if we could break through that, I think Bitcoin will move up pretty quickly. Next stop will be about 44,000, 45,000, and then after that 50, and then 60,000. 50 to 60 will come very, very quick. There's like no resistance between there. So I'm looking forward to that, and of course, if Bitcoin starts breaking up, altcoins will rally too. However, when there's extreme FOMO for Bitcoin or extreme pumps, right? Bitcoin dominance tends to go up, so altcoins do not move as fast as Bitcoin. But then it usually recovers afterwards. But the bottom line is, if you are diversified, you're not too heavy into alts or you're not too heavy into Bitcoin, then you're okay. Being diversified is the name of the game, in my opinion, especially when it comes to crypto. All right, so let's do some Q&A. Some people get this joke when I say my sources because a few days ago people were saying that other channels would say, hey, according to my source and this and that, right? And it reminds me of Stephen A. Smith, who would always say, according to my source, this person is going to get traded to this place, or this person's unhappy, and it always turns out to be false. So I've decided to say, hey, I have sources too. And my sources is just me, myself, and I. But I'm going to start saying it. Because when you talk about sources, you can't possibly be wrong. Because if you're wrong, it's your sources that are wrong, not you. But if your sources are correct, you get all the credit. So that's why I started incorporating sources. All right, let me scroll up here. Let me see what I missed. IPO is tanking. Geez, George, I bought Litecoin in April because of your hype, down 70%. That was not my hype. That was not my hype. And that was my mistake. I've traditionally hated Litecoin. I said there was no point to it. But at that time, Litecoin was coming up really, really fast. And it looked like it was going to flip that dominance of Bitcoin until everything started coming down. So at that time, I didn't have reliable sources. So I'll just blame on my source. But Litecoin, I think it'll stay. It'll definitely stay. It's the second greatest store of value, but unfortunately, it is second and not the first. Just Crush Bear, yes, I'm going to answer that. An employee at Fidelity said a few days ago, the best performing accounts at Fidelity are two types: abandoned accounts and owners deceased. So what that means, Chip, is the holders, the longest holders, are the ones that have the best performance. That's what it says, right? So either the owners died and they can't touch it, or there's accounts that people no longer have access to, right? They are the best performing assets. So Chip, that's interesting story. Hopefully that's true. But I do agree with that. Crypto, someone says Shiba Inu's go take over the world. No. And you better watch out. The $1 billion worth of Shiba that was donated has not been sold off yet. In fact, that relief organization says it's been really hard to sell off. But they are going to. So that's $1 billion worth of Shiba sell pressure that is coming. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Mike, that's correct. What is the PayPal expansion effect on AMP? Well, I mean, that's a good question. PayPal works already with millions and millions of vendors out there. But right now, they have not expanded out crypto payments for their vendors. But if they do, that can be a threat to AMP. That definitely can be, right? So that's a legit question, and we'll have to see. AMP relies on Flexa, but AMP itself, now I saw that they got onto some other DeFi staking project. AMP itself can be used everywhere. It's just a collateral token to help transactions speed up. But in terms of Flexa, they have competition. That's for sure. I just deposited my BTC in BlockFi. Interest accumulated rose. Well, yeah, if you have more, that makes sense. That makes sense. Wonder how much of the housing bonds BlackRock buys ends up on the Fed's books. I don't know. BlackRock is buying houses left and right now. That's what I'm hearing. And the Feds keep buying more corporate bonds, junk bonds. You know, the Fed's monetary policy, it's unsustainable. It's unsustainable by according to my sources and according to some of the biggest people out there, biggest, wealthiest, most intelligent people out there. Just don't know when it's going to end. You know, the printing could go on for many, 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 many years. But there will be consequences, and one of them is inflation, and we're already seeing that, right? But it is helping Bitcoin in a big way. Bar me, I have no thoughts. I have never used Nexo before, so I can't comment. Is there a reason why BPro is pumping? It just keeps going? Well, that's because BPro has been sold off a ton. And also, their NFT marketplace is starting to get catched up. Not their own, I should say, their white label NFT marketplace is being used by others that are actually very, very promising. So I think that does help them quite a bit. I have never heard of Amber Group. I don't know who they are. How's your BlockFi card going? Well, I have it. I haven't used it yet, but here you go. I hear a lot of people's getting it. They're starting to approve that huge list. But if you guys are looking for a credit card that rewards you at 1.5% Bitcoin back, this is your only option. It's not a prepaid card. It's not a debit card. It's a true credit card from BlockFi. So if you want to earn Bitcoin rewards, check them out. Check them out. Use my URL below. I haven't used it yet, but I do plan on in the future. Someone says, sell my VET and Chainlink for XRP for the rest of this bull run. That would be a huge mistake. I don't know if you're just trolling. I don't know why you would even suggest that. That would be one of your biggest mistakes, I would say, in your crypto career. I want to get that card, but $300 in line. Yeah, there's a lot of people waiting in line, to be honest, but they're starting to improve. I mean, I've heard of other people starting to get it, so hopefully they will escalate that. Any source information about Serum? Well, my sources tell me that Serum and everyone else within the Solana ecosystem, they're looking pretty good. Alameda is not giving up by any means. FTX is only getting bigger. They just got more funding too. And Sam loves Solana. Loves Solana, loves everything about Solana, including all these new projects that's coming on board. So Serum, I think it'll do okay. I just mentioned about BPro already. Can you speak on Doge? Well, Doge is Doge. It's not going to go away. It's still hanging strong at number 7. And if you subtract off Tether, it's really at number 6. The number of people that's holding Doge is just, it's just not decreasing. People are holding strong. This is why I say that Doge is not going to go away. I added some Doge in my sample portfolio. And me, myself, I do hold Doge because it is one of the most pumpable coins out there. When we have that bull run, that tail end of the bull run when things all go up exponentially, I think Doge will be one of the biggest gainers. But outside of that, Alon is trying to speed it up, add more dApps and so forth. But yeah, that's my thoughts there. Are you thinking about driving BlockFi's endorsement in favor of Celsius or Voyager since BlockFi only pays 1.5, Voyager pays? No. Here's the thing. Before I partnered up with BlockFi, and here's an honest story, I tried to partner up with Celsius, but their marketing team was a mess. So that was a mess. I talked to them for like 2-3 months and couldn't get a deal going. But also, why I chose BlockFi is because they're based in the US. And that gives them a lot more credibility. And they use 2 of the biggest custodians out there from Coinbase and Gemini, which both have heavy insurance, right? So when it comes to a lending company like that, you want to go with the biggest custodians, right, with the most insurance. Celsius is not based in the US. They're trying to move to US, but Celsius lost one of their custodians due to fears of rehypothecation. And Voyager, they're kind of mixed. I do like Voyager, but the way they pay interest is different, and their withdrawals is not that good because you can't withdraw everything, right? So I've been trying to get Steve from Voyager on the show. So, a lot of delays. He would send me an email, I reply, no answer. He would send me an email, no reply. So he was supposed to come on this week. So I hope to get Steve and Voyager on so I could talk more about how they pay out their interest, because the way they do things is different than BlockFi or Celsius or Nexo. So that's my honest spin. So am I going to move away from BlockFi? No. Unless something disastrous happens but outside of that, I think whatever's going on with their 3 or 4 cases, they will settle it. Dope. Appreciate it. All right, guys. Last few questions. Is there anything wrong with Coinbase? No, there's nothing wrong with Coinbase. Coinbase customer service still sucks. People still tell me they don't get a response or whatever for weeks or months. That still exists, but supposedly they're trying to get better. But Coinbase is the biggest exchange in the US, so there's nothing wrong with them. All right. I think that's it. Overall, Bitcoin is still where it is. It looks like it wants to break this 41,000 mark. And according to my sources, that could come tomorrow. After expirations happen, this pressure will be lifted and we could see some explosive movement going into the weekend. So I'm looking forward to that. But in the meantime, I've been showing you guys all these metrics, man. Every single one that shows you that adoption is growing by leaps and bounds. And that is why you want to stay in the game. That is why you don't want to be feared out by the FUD. Okay? Stay in the game, focus on the future, focus on investing and not trading, and you'll do just fine. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. As always, smash a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one.